You sometimes feel like you can hold it all together on the outside, but inside, there's a real struggle going on. Most people walking around experience this at some time or another throughout their lives. Sometimes within a day, they could go through this multiple times. Through different seasons, we experience it more than others. Seasons that are transitional. As we are going through growth spurts, transitions, whenever we are launching into adulthood, embracing new relationships, reaching goals, even when we have reached a goal, we'll experience this bit of tension, this bit of what's next. If we don't allow ourselves the time to enjoy the goal we've just reached, there's a tension, there's this what's next feeling. Sometimes we find ourselves in a new chapter altogether, be it by decisions we've made or others have made. Maybe you find yourself in one of these situations. Maybe you're experiencing becoming an empty nester. Maybe you're in midlife, wondering what's next. Whatever it is that puts you here, it is very common to have some inner struggle, and there's lots of things you can do to bring back your shine and get into this next season. But this inner struggle, it might be laying just under the surface. And it's partly because of how your brain is designed. Your brain wants comfort, the comfort that comes with no change at all. But it also may seek something new, a change of sort. But yet at the same time, the way our brain is designed is to keep us safe, to conserve energy, and to seek pleasure. So even in its design, there are things that could create tension. Maybe we want to make a change, but we also want to stay the same. Maybe we want a new chapter, but yet we're looking back and missing the old chapter. What is it that's holding you back? Is there something that you can identify that is standing in the way of what it is that God has for you next? Is there something that you're holding on tightly to? Maybe an old story. Is it that you're on autopilot, on repeat, but not living life to the fullest, to the highest potential that God has for you? Maybe that's where the tension comes from, because you realize it. So ask yourself, what percentage of my life am I holding back? And what percentage of my life am I living to my highest potential? Evaluate it. Look at what you want to change. What do you want to keep from the chapter before? What do you want to bring into a new chapter? Our thoughts create our emotions. They are what gives fuel to our emotions, and our emotions fuel our actions. Neuroscience and scripture has proven this over and over again. Our thoughts are what are creating our actions. So we've got to look at the input. If we don't want an action to happen, we can go backwards and look at our emotion and what our thought was creating the emotion. Neuroscience and the Bible tells us taking our thoughts captive is super important. There's a lot of emphasis on this. When we do, we can renew our mind and step into what God has for us. When we don't do that, we often hold ourselves back, and then we start to look at external causes for why we're not moving forward. Well, if this person would do this, then I could move forward. I could reach this goal, then I would be able to do this next part of life. Whatever it is that you're holding on to, whatever you're making the experience mean, evaluate it. Spend some time with that and decide, are you holding yourself back? What percentage are you holding yourself back? What percentage are you stepping into this new chapter? Because your body is going to actually create an emotional cocktail based on your thoughts. So whatever you're thinking on, it's what your emotions will be. And from that place, you take the actions that lead you forward or keep you stuck. We don't really get to blame all the external things. And we could always have circumstances that could be affecting us, but it's our thoughts about the circumstance that affects us the most. Your brain might be holding on to an old story and telling you that you can't do this new thing, but you get to choose a new thought and renew your mind and step into the new that God has for you. Your future doesn't depend on you changing someone else. It really has to do with changing your thought, because external fixes don't heal the inner struggle. That inner struggle is where we want to have peace. We want to have peace with God. We want to have peace with ourselves and live at peace with all men, and as much as it is possible with us. And you get to choose to create a way of life that is peaceful and that you love. You can choose to stay in a negative mindset, but often when we do, what happens is we escape ourselves by numbing. If your own mindset is negative, you may find that you numb out by any number of means. Some people call it buffering. For example, maybe episode after episode of Netflix over and over and over. Maybe you will buffer through eating, shopping, scrolling, whatever it is that you choose to do that disconnects from yourself. It causes you to escape from your own negative mindset. A better option would be to look at those thoughts causing the mindset, take the thoughts captive, process through whatever emotions that they've brought up, and start the process of renewing your mind. Replacing those thoughts with true thoughts. Decide an intentional thought that you're going to live your life in the way that matters. You're going to live out your legacy right now. Maybe you're going to connect to someone you've been wanting to connect with. Whatever these thoughts are, take them captive and evaluate. Are my thoughts helping me reach my goal, or am I standing in my way with my thoughts? Do you have a thought that's on repeat? One that keeps popping up? If so, dig into it and find out, why is it on repeat? Take it captive. Process the emotions that are coming along with it. Don't run from them. And you're going to be amazed how much energy this frees up. Rather than resisting it, rather than holding yourself back because of this thought, you'll be able to create those thoughts, those feelings, and those actions that you're really wanting, that will lead to that life you've been wanting to live. And it all goes back to your thoughts, because as we know, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So you can create the life you want to live by taking your thoughts captive. That's where it starts. Renew your mind. Take your thoughts captive. It's time for you to shine. If you'd like to work on your thoughts and creating the life that you love, reach out to me using the show notes below.